Hey everyone, this is Paradox TCG. I'm Ryan and I'm bringing you a Raccoon deck profile. Raccoons have been very consistent in this format, especially considering this is trapless and it revolves mostly around spells, like Necroz and Clifforts are mainly spell cards. So it's arguably one of the best anti-meta decks this format. So let's get started. We got tokens. So I'm running the standard 3 Baby Raccoon Ponpoko and 3 Baby Raccoon Tantan. Ponpoko summons a level 2 beast type monster from your deck in face down defense position. And Tantan, when it's flipped, you can summon one level 2 beast type monster from your deck. So these are the two cards that set off the deck. Next, I use 2 Bambi. It is basically the card that got baby raccoons back into the game. It's incredible. You can discard one card and summon one level 2 or lower beast type monster from your graveyard and face up attack or face down defense. So you can set a Tantan from your graveyard or you can summon other combo pieces. I only use 2 because sometimes it can be cloggy. And I can bring it out with Obedient Scold or Tantan. Next, I use 2 Fabled Cerberus. I really want this card in my hand because I can discard it with Bambi's effects and get its own effect, which you can, when it's discarded, you can special summon it from the graveyard. Actually, no, it's a mandatory effect. It is special summon from the graveyard when it's discarded. So it's very good, and it's the main card for bringing out Fabled Unicorn. Next, I use 2 Wind-Up Kittens. I only use 2 because you don't need more than 2, and because it can be normal summoned to get its effect. Because its effect is once while it's face up on the field, not when it's normal summoned or special summoned or whatever. It bounces a monster on your opponent's side of the field back to their hand. It's very good in getting rid of a lot of messy cards. You can get rid of Shadal Winda, which can really stop this deck because this deck revolves around special summoning like multiple times per turn. Next, I use 1 Kalantosa. Kalantosa, when it's special summoned by the effect of a beast type monster, you can pop a card on the field. So you would either use Tantan or Bambi to summon it, and it's just really good back row removal. Next is 1 Tree Otter. I've tried Sea Koala. I hate Sea Koala. Sea Koala is garbage. Sea Koala lowers your opponent's monster's attack points, but Tree Otter raises your monster's attack by 1,000, so you can bump up your token instead of possibly lowering it. 1 Beast King Barbaros. This card, you can normal summon it even though it's level 8 without any tributes, but it goes down to 1900 attack. But that doesn't matter. Usually you would use this to summon Leo with either Bellerophon or Fabled Cerberus. It's basically just Leo. It's incredible. And then for the non-beasts, I use Thunder King Ryo. It's basically a mistake on legs, and it can stop special summons. It's very good. Onto the spells. I use 3 Obedient Scold. This card, you summoned 3 level 2 or lower beast type monsters from your deck, and then that's what sets off most of the combos. Their effects are negated, and you can only special summon beast type monsters for the rest of the turn, but that doesn't really matter because you can get out your main combo pieces just by summoning those 3. It's an incredible card. Next is 3 Ayers Rock Sunrise. It's basically Monster Reborn for beast types. It's incredible. If you don't run 3, you need to run 3, or else your deck is not going to be as great. Next, the staple for this format, 3 MST, self-explanatory. And a tech I use in this deck that not a lot of people use is 3 United We Stand. It's an equip card. Your monster, or whatever it's equipped to, gains 800 attack for each monster you control on your field. So you can really bump up your tokens. If it's equipped to a Sandayu, the most attack an opponent or a token can have while this is equipped is at least 2600, which is very, very good. and if you have more monsters out, you can bump its attack up even more. So it's incredible. And the one Snatch Steal, it's freaking broken. It should never have come off the ban list. And one Book of Moon, it stops the Djinn Lock. It gets rid of a lot of problematic cards like Winda and everything. It's very good. Onto the traps, I use 2 Mistake. Mistake. This card adds no monsters from the deck to the hand. And if you can main Mistake in a deck, you really should, because Mistake is broken. Especially this format. 2 Vanity's Emptiness. It's now a super rare and easy to get, so why not run it? It's incredible. It's very easy to get rid of. 2 Fiendish Chain. I tried Super Rush Recklessly. I don't really like it as much because it doesn't... It destroys your monster, and you can't use it on Sandayu because it is an and if you do effect. So it doesn't. If it doesn't destroy your monster, it doesn't get sent to the graveyard. So you can't bounce your opponent's monster back to their deck. So this is just great for stopping your opponent's monsters. And for the one-ofs, Compulse, Solemn, Soul Drain, and Bottomless Trap Hole. Soul Drain is incredible in this deck because you activate no effects in the graveyard, other than Cerberus, which it's not as important than stopping Burning Abyss and every other every other meta deck that uses the graveyard. So it's really good. And the extra deck. 3 Sandayu. You need 3. You can't really work well with only 2. Sometimes your opponent can get rid of one of them by like bottomless, or no, not bottomless, like anything like that can banish it, like Farfa, Karma Cut. So if you have that third, it's really important that you have the third so you can make it again and lock your opponent again. 2 Daigusta Phoenix. You can detach 1 and target a wind type monster, or wind attribute monster, which is itself. It can attack twice this turn. So that's, if it's attacking directly, that's 3,000 attack, and if it's equipped with United We Stand, that's at least 800 more for each attack. Next, Fabled Unicorn. I use 2 because this card is Bay, this card is Love, this card is Life. This card is incredible. If you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, their effects are all negated. Like, they cannot do anything while this card is on your field and you have the same number of cards. It's just broken. Next, I use 1 Armory Arm. I don't really like Armory Arm as much. If I had a Downward Magician, I would use Downward Magician, because you can use your used up Sandayus or Daigusta Phoenixes or whatever. It's very good. Next, Naturia Beast. Oh my god, this format, Naturia Beast, is just fucking broken. You can mill 2 cards and negate any spell and destroy it. It's incredible. 1 Arm 80s, when it attacks, or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate card effects until the end of the damage step. So you can basically just poke for 2300 and they can't activate Mirror Force or anything. It's really good. Catastor, very good against Necroz and Cliffords because they can't get over it unless they use something from the extra deck that has a dark attribute. It's very good. For the level 6s, 1 Naturia Barkion. It's like Naturia Beast, except you banish 2 from your graveyard to negate trap cards. It's really good against Rogue or Volcanics or any other deck that runs traps this format. I don't make it as much as I make Beast, because spells are the main thing you want to stop this format. Next, Goyo Guardian. It's pretty good. I don't make it too often. I don't really make the level 6s too often as much as I make the level 5s, but it's really good to get rid of an opponent's monster and then special summon it to your side of the field. It's really, really awesome. One Black Rose. I don't really make this as much, but there's some times where you really just need to get rid of an opponent's card, or an opponent's field, or just nuke the field. It's good sometimes. And one Leo. Leo gets over Burning Abyss because they can't really get rid of it. There's nothing they can do because it cannot be targeted by card effects unless it's in your main phase 2. And typically during your main phase 2, with Raccoons, you don't really activate anything, so they don't get priority. It just goes straight to the end phase. They can't do anything to get over it. So, it's incredible. Love Leo. And the side deck, I side 2 Mythic Water Dragons. More times than not, you'll have a level 2 tuner type monster, or tuner monster, and you can sink into Leo, because this special summons itself if you have, or you can special summon it if you have a Earth attribute monster on your side of the field. So if you have an Earth tuner, or any Earth monster with a tuner on the field, you summon this, sink at make Leo. It's really good. Another standard side deck cards this format: 2 Max C and 3 Flying C. It stops Burning Abyss. It stops a lot of other decks that special summon, spam summon a lot. It's really good. For Rogue and sometimes Burning Abyss, I use 3 Stygian Dirge. It can be really good. The only problem is it can be MST'd. So I only really use it against Rogue or decks that don't really have an out to it. It's pretty good though. Light Imprisoning Mirror stops the Rogue decks. Sometimes you can side it against Burning Abyss if they can really get out Dante or Virgil really easily, so I side that sometimes. And then for the Cliffords, I use Spell Shattering Arrow. I would rather have Fairy Winds. I don't have Fairy Winds. I would definitely take these out for Fairy Winds, because Fairy Winds stop their floodgates. It stops the skill drains. You can get rid of the skill drains. This only gets rid of spells, so you would just destroy their scouts, basically. So yeah, if you like this, comment, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out the Paradox TCG eBay page, what we're selling and everything, and like us on Facebook. So yeah, thanks for watching.